I'll hop into it. So for me, the topic that I was kind of thinking about, because something that's like been coming up a lot within the zeitgeist of what I'm looking at is this phrasing that's coming out of Texas called "Turn Texas Blue." So for all of you that don't know, Texas is primarily a red state. Most of the people here vote Republican, and most of the people here are conservative to that extent.
Keep Texas red.
But there are
Turn that bitch purple.
Heck yeah.
yeah, I kind of agree with the purple thing, but there are people that, just like extremists in all parts, that are completely going turn it blue. And it's like, I don't know about that. Like, I mean, provided with the pandemic and stuff like that, there are mass exoduses happening from the bluest of states. Just living in a blue city in Texas,
I mean, look
like
at
I meet
California, New
people
York.
from,
People are leaving
yeah,
there like crazy.
exactly. Uh, just because it's more affordable here, they like the area. What I'm worried a lot of people from blue places don't know about Texas, though, is that this city is different than the rest of the state. And
Which city? You talking about Austin?
yeah, like Austin, or even Houston and
I was about to say a lot of Texas is just different from.
yeah, Houston and San Antonio, I think, are kind of bluish. Not too sure about Dallas, but
No, I think all the major cities are pretty blue. I think Dallas, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, any major city is pretty blue.
but you get a different light of Texas when you just come to a city and you hop between the cities.
Fair.
Because if you don't actually go into the massive landmass that is what, like twice or
Yeah,
three times
yeah,
the size of France,
yeah.
like you don't actually see where the most of the population lives. The cities seem packed, but like most of the population lives out in rural areas, and there's enough space for them to be spaced out so it doesn't look like it. But they're all there, and those people vote Republican and vote conservative, and they want to keep it that way. Um, so there's kind of like a weird tension between like the people coming into the city and what they want for the future, and then the people that are already here and what they want to keep it like. So I just kind of want to phrase a question off of all of that. Like, when do you think it's okay to move to a new place and start kind of
All the time, every day, every second, every minute. When you wake up,
every
you should look for a new place to go fuck up. And this is why. This is why. From
This
the bottom of my
guy.
heart, this is coming from a black
Completely
man.
disagree with
Listen,
this.
listen. Gerrymandering existed, so I'm gonna have fun watching this.
This
I'm gonna
guy.
have fun watching this. This is petty. This is spiteful. If you
Very.
call it all what you want, but y'all motherfuckers fucked up our vote by gerrymandering and redistricting, so that way we can fucking affect the electoral college the same way you guys can. Okay? So now you guys want to bitch about blue and red making purple? Have fun. Have fun. I just do not care. I want it to happen. All you should mix
You just want
and
it for the
learn.
laugh.
Yeah, no, I sincerely want it because blue and red should be together. Y'all gonna fight it out. Y'all gonna figure it out. Y'all either gonna end up purple or blue gonna end up dead or red gonna end up dead. Regardless, I do not care because none of that has nothing to do with me. And they trying to make me feel involved now by Joe Biden his fucking rap battle commercials. Fuck you, Joe. You hear me? Fuck you. That's from fake deep thinking. Fuck you, Joe. Okay? Like, we're not going for none of that. So if y'all want to argue over space and where you get to live and cast your vote, when we just got them rights recently, maybe 60 years, y'all can have that argument. That's all.
I'm kind of on the purple side too, because the things I like come from the bluest states, and the things I like to do for money also come from them.
I mean, the only reason why I'm for the purple argument is because I do honestly firmly believe that red needs blue and blue needs red. Like one generally cannot exist without the
The
other.
Bloods
Like
and the
there's a
Crips.
balance. There's a balance. I just the bloods in the crypt. I just feel like to actually answer Doc's question, I feel like if you want to move somewhere new and implement some level of change there, I feel like there does need to be a period of I don't what's the word? Not I don't know why allocation is coming to mind.
I'm about to blow your mind.
Um, what's the word?
Appreciation, I guess.
No. What assimilation? There you
Assimilation. Okay, so
Assimilation.
let's speak about assimilation.
go. Oh gosh,
Let's speak about living in poor
you just gotta
neighborhoods.
learn your area,
No,
dude.
no, fuck that. Let's speak about living in poor neighborhoods and being forced to move out so that way you can build nice condos and shit.
Well, I don't agree with that.
Okay, but that's the same thing that they're doing. They're moving somewhere and they want to affect it by their vote. You live there. You're happy with where you live. And somebody's coming there to change the way you live because they're not happy and they want it to benefit themselves.
But that's the problem, because I feel like they come there and they don't take the time to understand the area and who wants to change and who doesn't want the change.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
feel like you just come there
Fuck
and be
all
like,
of
I
them.
selfishly want to change
Yeah,
the area
for
without
sure.
taking consideration anyone else who lives there.
And I support
I don't
them.
agree with that.
And I support them because it's been happening this whole time. Now people want to bitch when it happens to them. Like, politically, it's happening. So now you guys want to bitch. But it's been happening in every other facet of our life. And nobody complained because they weren't affected. Now you're mad that
So
somebody
do you
who
think
has an
it's gaining
opposing...
more attention, more light because of
Because it's happening to white people.
So you think because of white people, not because it just has more
Yeah,
eyes
because
on it?
black people don't care about that
Because
politics
of the
shit.
internet and everything
A
else.
black person with a MAGA flag, they're going to talk shit about them, but they don't even care enough about politics to that extent. Like, to that extent. They care, like, oh, Trump's racist. They believe Trump's racist. Some people believe whatever they believe, right? But they don't care enough to where it's, I don't want you moving in my neighborhood. Black people have not ever had that right or feeling of, you don't get to live in my neighborhood. White people have always had that feeling of, you don't get to live in my neighborhood. Now you're having
Get
that
off
feeling.
my property.
Now you guys have maxed that level out to so high that you're looking at other white people. I don't want you in my neighborhood. That's how bougie y'all got. We just happy to have a neighborhood, brother. We just happy to vote. Let us vote. Let us have our neighborhoods. Don't move us out of our even if it's the projects, don't kick us out and build condos. Let us have our space. But if all those things aren't doable, then somebody bitching about somebody who votes for Trump or somebody who votes for Biden moving in next door so that the vote's a little bit more skewed. Are you really complaining about skewed voting? Really? Like, this whole conversation blows me. The whole thing is just baffling. White people complaining about voting baffles me. Oh my God. Please move on to the next topic. Please. Please. I have nothing else to say on this
John's losing
topic.
his shit right now.
Dude, it's just so stupid. It is so stupid. It is so stupid that you can even find this to be an issue. Somebody sat down and said, there's a lot of liberals moving into Texas.
Well, my issue with it is that you pull policy and opinion in certain directions, and to an extent like that is like beneficial to certain groups, but it's just like, if the cities start commanding all of the vote and all of the policy votes in this state, then you ruin a lot of people's lives in rural areas. Also, and that's the hard part. And what happens when you piss those people off enough? And you have to understand that those people are also the majority, though.
That's a fact. And also, if you admit right now, if the red party or the blue party admits they're uncomfortable or they admit that, if they admit that what's going on right now will affect the election, they would have admitted to rigging a lot of elections.
Well, I'm confused where this, or at least let me, I guess, clarify first. When you brought up this topic, do you mean how this affects the election, or you just like?
That's interesting. That's true. That's how I took it.
I didn't take it as affecting the election.
I took it as affecting the vote.
I didn't take it that way.
I mean, if you're,
it makes. I know. I
understand
why you would take it the way, because it definitely can go that way. But me personally, I didn't go take it in that direction. I just took it as.
I feel like you have to, though, because if you're blue and you move in my area, you're gonna vote.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna vote.
And your vote's obviously gonna affect. I get what you're saying, but I didn't take it literally. Like, if you're coming in here, you're gonna change the vote. Even though I don't disagree with what you just said.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I get you.
Well, my thing is that I kind of wanted to make it more exponential too. So, like, if I'm me and I'm an American and I move to Russia and I start pushing American ideals in Russia, like that, right out the door, like within the first week that I get there, and I'm like, man, you know what's wrong here? All this shit. Why
I don't have any gun rights.
Yeah, like, why is everyone communing? This is weird.
Like, literally how I took it was kind of I mean, this does go back to the vote thing, like you said, but like a policy thing. For example, you're fleeing back to the example we brought up, California, New York, for a reason. You guys have high taxation, the poverty issues, all this stuff, and you flee to, as the doc's example, Texas. So, like, one of the popular phrases I've always heard, I've even said this to some people when I've interacted with them when I used to live in Texas that say they came from, let's say, California, is like, welcome to Texas. Just don't vote California policies. Just don't vote that way. That's not the right way to phrase it.
As long as you don't vote, the way that a Texan wouldn't want you to vote.
Not necessarily Texan won't vote. Just don't vote in the policies that you fled. Like, you fled those for a reason. So why would you then continue that here? That's how I took it. Not necessarily that, like, you being here is going to sway the vote. Obviously it is. That goes without saying. But understand why you left those areas you left
For
them for a
sure.
reason. Why'd you leave
left
those
for a
areas?
reason.
So
Yeah.
now that it come here, don't mess up something good that we have here. If you want to vote blue,
Because
okay,
it was obviously
cool.
good enough for you to vote here. I mean, move here.
Exactly.
Mhm.
That's how I took it.
Mm-hmm. 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 And I could only help but take it the way that I took it because, history.
Is that fucking Andy?
No,
I heard-
No, my phone was on vibrate still, and it still decided to make a weird ass sound in my hand just now.
Oh, I thought it was Andy.
No.
I don't know, man. One of the big things that like I always contest or I always think about because I always thought California was so cool, and then I got there and they're like, "Yeah, bro, you got to pay, your federal income," and I'm like, "Nice, yeah, I'm used to that." And then you have to pay an extra 12% to the state. And I was
State
like, "Wait,
income.
what?"
Yep.
I was like, "For what?" And they're like, "Oh, well, so in LA, because it's so big and, all the major cities in San Francisco, you have to pay to upkeep the public transport and stuff like that." And I was like, "What if I live on the north side of California in the woods?" And they're like, "You still got to do it. It's so big, so important to the state. You still got to do it." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And so it made so much more sense in Texas where there is no state taxes whatsoever.
Love Texas.
And they were like, because it makes so much sense because it's like, okay, cool. We literally produce oil as a major resource for the country. We have the biggest car dealerships here in this state because of the oil production. And most people don't live in the cities. So it's easier to just give them back their taxes so that they can then buy a car and they can get around the massive space that is Texas on their own. And we don't have to rely on any one city needing any massive public transport. That city would then tax its own citizens so that it can build its own stuff if it wants it or needs it. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
it makes more sense. Like, it seems kind of selfish for me to force everyone that doesn't live in the city to pay for my stuff. So that was my thing, and that's why like when people from other places show up to Texas and they're just like, "Man, this place is so backwards. I can't believe there's no train. The bus system don't even work well." And it's like, bro, because we're not rigged that way. Like, it's just not
At
set
all.
up that way. And
Now, Texas
Why'd
is
you come
literally
here?
the greatest state, in my opinion.
I
in
mean,
America.
obviously, in my opinion, I've been sitting here saying, yeah, Texas this, Texas that. So
And I'm
clearly
a
I
New
think
Yorker.
so too.
This is coming from a New Yorker who's lived in Georgia, stayed in California, and Texas is my favorite state. I do have a bias because of Whataburger, but
What a burger!
exactly. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching a clip of Fake Deep Thinking. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe, like the clip, leave a comment, and check out our page for more content. Full episodes of Fake Deep Thinking are released every Friday on Podbean, iTunes, and Spotify. Check it out.